Hello, we are the Tinfoil Fedoras. Welcome to our channel. With all of the recent changes to the Twitch platform, we decided to share our opinions on it, as well as a few other things, since we are both content creators individually in our own lives. Anyway, let's get started.
Did you hear the news? So what about the gambling and Twitch's 1%?
I'll say it. If you don't know anything about gambling, you're not allowed to have a fucking opinion. And everyone who doesn't know anything about how online gambling works needs to shut the fuck up. There you go. And all these fucking top-tier, top-end Twitch streamers that are jealous because they're having to fucking show their asses in hot tubs, and people can just find ways to exploit the online gambling system to, make more money than they do, are salty, and Twitch isn't making any money from it, so Twitch bans it, when in reality it's a perfectly reasonable way to make a living if you know what you're doing.
They're trying to be on some kind of high horse of like, oh, gambling's bad for the platform or whatever, but like making a community that literally like is just mean to other people for sport, or making a community where you take advantage of men for money using your body, like that's just as capitalist as like someone gambling on the site. And I mean, I don't know if you saw the statement that Twitch put out about like, everyone wanted better revenue, right? They wanted it to be 70-30 instead of 50-50 revenue, like for subscriptions or whatever. So someone made a response to how subscriptions can be improved, and it went viral, and Twitch responded to it. They basically said a bunch of fucking corporate bullshit. They literally said they have a 50-50 split to remind you that we're in this together. Come on.
We're gonna release the grip a little bit, but we're still gonna choke you. It's just not gonna hurt quite as much. It's your money anyway. Like, they shouldn't be able to limit when you get your own fucking money. If you earned it, you should have access to it immediately if you want it.
While we are declining this request, it's still crucial to know that the primary value of sharing your feedback on user voice is to have your voices heard and suggestions considered.
It's a corporation, and
Yep.
They act in their own interests. If they're cutting big-time streamers down to 50-50, then all they're doing is just making more money from it.
For Prime subs, we pay streamers the same amount they'd receive for a regular subscription, even though it's included as an added benefit.
It's like colorblind and not reading the room and saying, like, if you're from a poor country, you're going to get more money because people can't afford to sub. But they can afford Prime subs, or we exploit them. It's so tone deaf. Like, the optics of that are horrible. Enjoy being poor. We'll give you a piece of something to let you buy a piece of bread for this week. How did that feel, buddy? We're so generous. My God.
But Twitch sure did write it out, didn't it? The problem is that there's such a big middle class when it comes to streamers and affiliates and stuff. The big streamers rely on the small streamers too, because we are what keep viewers and like new people coming to the platform, as new streamers coming to the platform, and like networking and stuff and bringing their friends in and all of that. Twitch doesn't care who you're watching or who you're subbing to, as long as you are watching and subbing. And the thing about gambling is that Twitch doesn't take a profit from that.
Yep, that's the key. They can't make any money if you're putting your money on a gambling platform, and if your people are donating to you off stream so that you can put money down on gambling. Twitch doesn't get a piece of that. And all the people that are placating the big corporation, like Asmongold and Pokimane and Amaranth and all those people, those are the ones that are going to get the most upset about it, because people are using the platform that they've basically hoarded themselves out on so long to make money in a more efficient way. And they don't like it. And so now, all of a sudden, they go from, like, having all these complaints about the platform and, like, appealing to the great god of Twitch now. Please help us. Please ban this. This isn't fair.
Yeah, Twitch got rid of gambling, but Twitch added hot tubs and beaches.
Thanks for the hot tubs, guys. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go back to doing gotchas on Diablo Immortal and Genshin Impact, guys. Yeah, I'm going to keep gambling away with my subscribers' money. It's just not with actually for money. It's for, like, 5-star characters and stuff. Thanks, Twitch, for getting rid of those people that actually make money off of this in a meaningful way, because it makes me forget for a moment about how miserable my life is as a content creator. Thanks. Things like being partnered don't mean anything. You can't put stock in content creators' viewership. And I know this as a content creator. Being a content creator is tough. I think that audiences don't realize how draining it is. It's very easy to consume what you see on a screen, but it's not easy to be on the other end of it.
It's tough. When you're a content creator, you have this constant back and forth of like, is the time and effort of making content worth the recognition it might get? When I first started making content, I actually started streaming because I liked playing Overwatch, but I didn't start with any views in mind, and I don't even stream anymore for views. You kind of have to get over that, because a very lucky select few are the only ones that get the views and the revenue. So then you have to figure out, like, is it worth the time and effort you put in when you know you most likely won't have much to show for it? What are our opinions on Overwatch 2?
I think that video games have been destroyed and Blizzard's a primary thing for it, and I think that the young generation of gamers has been groomed into thinking that microtransactions are okay when they aren't, and Overwatch 2 is trash, and it exploits all those things that I just mentioned.
Technically free to play,
but it's not really. Actually, they haven't been exactly clear on how they're doing that. They haven't actually said exactly what longtime players are going to get to have at the beginning, which means that we're going to have to spend more money than everyone thinks. They just haven't broken the bad news yet. All these people that helped design the original Overwatch are gone now. That says everything it needs to be said about the state of where the game's at and where their minds are.
Oh, yeah, because who just left the character designer?
The character designer left, yeah.
And one of the last characters that he worked on was the new one that looks exactly like the girl from Paladins. Overwatch is a dead game, so Blizzard killed it. Jeff Kaplan left. The guy who McCree is based off ended up being the lead character designer left. Game is dead. I think there's like a week until it's just totally gone. Lack of new heroes all these years. Bad game balance. New heroes are always better than the originals because they can do everything. It's a complete copy of Paladins.
Well, it's called power creep, and every game with an online component has power creep. You can't really avoid it. As the game gets older, to be able to compensate for imbalances that are inherent in the game that really can't be balanced through mathematical senses, you have to put characters in that change that rebalance it, but then that character becomes designed specifically to counterbalance whatever the problem was, and it seems overpowered. So they have to make characters consistently more powerful to avoid that problem. Over time, everyone just becomes more powerful than they were before. It's called power creep. It's a very common thing in games where you have like live balancing or like an online component. It's a problem in Magic the Gathering too.
And what they were also saying in the post about the revenue is like competitors give their influencers 70-30. So why does Twitch still get 50-50? And Twitch was basically like, we don't care. If they can allow hot tub streamers and they can allow gacha games, seems silly for big streamers to get upset that people are making money off of gambling. Seems even sillier that Twitch listened to the big streamers. They're like, okay, our big streamers don't like it, so therefore we will ban it. But the big streamers are mad that any of their revenue is getting taken away from them.
The big streamers couldn't figure out how to do it the smart way, like the people who are actually professional gamblers can. And then crowdsource your gambling funding. That's brilliant. Like, you don't want to gamble. You're not gambling if you're doing other people's money. If people are dumb enough to donate to you, then that's on them, not you. And you shouldn't be punished for it. And now they're angry because they have to keep showing their tits.
I actually care about people, so I'm not going to say, give me your money because I'm a content creator. I'm going to say, give me your money if you want to support my content creation. But if people don't want to give money to a content creator, that's completely their choice. And if they would rather give their money to a content creator who's gambling than a content creator who, shakes their ass for subs in a hot tub, who are they to say that one capitalistic mentality is allowed and one isn't?
Like all these big wigs that are saying it's exploitative don't understand it, or it doesn't benefit them monetarily. Gotchas are more exploitative than gambling because at least gambling can get some kind of monetary gain. Gotchas get you nothing other than digital pixels. Like, at least you can get some sort of rebate on the money that you use through gambling. Like, it's completely hypocritical for people to play gotcha games and then talk about gambling being a bad thing. It's just the pinnacle of hypocrisy. Gambling is exploitative to people who have gambling problems. It's still their choice to continue.
Yeah, impulsive people.
It's your choice to gamble. It's exploitative if you manipulate people into making you think their winnings are more likely than they actually are. But if you tell people what their win rates are and they choose to do it, that's not exploitative. Which is why gambling things have to tell you what your chances of winning things are, because it's not exploitative. They're telling you exactly what your chances are. And by choosing to gamble, you're accepting that edge, or lack of an edge. And that's just it. That's not exploitative. CSGO gambling, even like people who trade loot boxes and stuff like that, and people who like open loot boxes on stream, that's gambling. That's gambling.
Yeah, if you spend your money on loot boxes and then open them up on stream, that if someone donated, like, here's $50, buy like 10 loot boxes and open them up on stream for me, that is gambling online.
Yes, it's the same thing. The only difference is that Twitch still makes money regardless, and so if someone gives you money to gamble on a site and you win money, they don't get any of it. They don't like that. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. It's all about Twitch's bottom line. And so when the big streamers complain, this makes them feel like they're being heard when it's really just Twitch not making money they feel like they're entitled to. Because Jeff Bezos probably can't win in a casino to save his life.
I don't know, man. I have a soul and I have empathy. I'm of the opinion that you should work for your money. Pokemon's not gonna give a fuck if you spend your $5, which is what, like half of your hourly wage. Like minimum wage in Georgia is still $7.25.
Is it against Twitch rules to use the S word now?
Wait, what are you talking about? Like slut?
No, the S word. It rhymes with pimp.
Skimp?
No.
Oh, simp.
I just want to be like, okay, please, simps, please just tell me why. Explain to me why. Why? And one, why are you in denial that you're a simp? And two, why do you waste your money? Like, why don't you use it on improving yourself so that you don't have to simp? Please explain, because you're the problem. You're the reason all this stuff happens. You are the reason that the Twitch economy is the way that it is.
Girls giving the sloppy toppies to their microphones.
I don't know. I guess I'm either completely okay with not interacting with humans at all. I've just never thought of it as like, I'm going to sit and talk to someone on the other side of the screen as a way to not be sad. And I just don't understand it. I'm not judging. I just don't understand it.
People give Amaranth money because she's a brilliant businesswoman, okay?
Everyone has too much access to everyone else. Like, people are not going to have fidelity when it's just too easy to just hit up an app and find somebody else. We live in a society that promotes the idea that you should always be looking for something better than what you have. And when you have that, in theory, at your fingertips, why would you ever want to be with anyone? And if you think you're the best, well, then someone can always just prove you otherwise by having a better Photoshop picture up on whatever app.
Why would anyone believe that they should just be with one person when there are infinite possibilities at the click of your fingertips?
If you're not single, you're not going to get money to Amaranth anymore. And then Twitch doesn't make money. So, of course, they don't want you to date anybody. It's not about depth. How many simps are married? I guess, one would say if you're simp to your wife if you're married, but,
It is okay to simp for your wife.
Yeah, it's okay to simp for your wife.
You should simp for your wife.
Yes, I agree. But there are no non-single simps.
Like, it's okay to have friends and, like, support your friends who are content creators, even if you're in a relationship. But let's be real. That's not what those people are doing when they're giving them thousands. That is essentially cheating.
Yeah, no way. Well, how many guys are giving women money on the internet in that sense with no intentions, like, honestly? So let's just call it like it is.
I mean, 40% of people who are on dating apps are cheating. Like, that's statistics that Tinder admitted to.
Like, this is why I just am not dating anyone. Because it's not about meaningful relationships with people anymore. It isn't about building families. It isn't about that kind of thing anymore. It's just about carnal, basic desire.
In theory.
That's my question. What's wrong with being alone? Why is everyone so worried about being by themselves? Pre-civilization, it was you versus nature. Humans are equipped to be alone. Why is everyone so worried about being alone? Why?
Yeah, that's true. Everyone will die alone. Even if you have, like, your dream person, like, even if you have your soulmate, you'll be dead in that casket all by yourself. And this is why people don't talk to me.
Mine is somewhere in the middle, Like, I could date people, but, like, why?
I could date, but the thought of, like, giving myself to someone on an intimate level, I'd rather just, like, not.
I would say my life is much better without a girl in it.
Yeah, I mean, your desire for life doesn't come by being with another human being. Your desire for life comes from within.
The modern dating market is designed to make everyone feel like they aren't good enough. So why partake in something that's constantly going to make you feel like you aren't good enough? The only time you'll ever feel any real validation for your life is when you look at yourself and say, hey, this is my contribution, and I believe that what I contribute has worth, and the people that don't, fuck them. Like, who cares? If you're subsisting and you're alive and you're making it, and you feel like you're making a valid contribution to society, and you believe in that contribution, why do you need anybody else to validate that? You don't. And that's insecurity. Feeling like you need somebody else to validate the things you do. It's nice to be confirmed, of course. I like that too, but like, I don't walk around for the things I do being like, oh, nobody says good job. Nobody wants to, yes, it sucks because some of the things I do are misunderstood. And what bothers me about that is more that I'm misjudged and people aren't smart enough or thoughtful enough, or they don't study enough or look into things enough to make the distinction between what I do and the societal perception of it. And that bothers me, but it's not that I'm alone. I don't get upset because I'm alone. I get bothered because people don't do their own research and look into what things actually are. So me wanting to be with someone is more like I want to find someone that appreciates me as I am, that isn't going to try to get me to be someone I'm not, and I don't have to climb this like hypergamy ladder of constantly feel like I'm competing with everyone around me to have validation and relevance. In the meantime, like when I'm alone, I can just work on myself and get better at the things that I do and increase my value and my worth for myself.
I feel good when I can be helping someone else.
People like that, my thought is, imagine you took all that effort and put it into yourself. How much further along than where you are would you be? If you're going to give, don't have expectations to get anything back. Giving does not mean you get things in return, which is why you should be sparing about what you give, because there is no social contract that says someone will give back because you give, which is why that effort is better used on yourself and not on other people until someone has proven that they're worthy of it.
Are you saying that there is nothing about you that you should improve?
Like, if it's hard to focus on yourself, then that means you need to try harder. Like if that's your struggle, then like yourself is all you got. At the end of everything, it's all you've only got yourself. Then you need to sit down and make a list of the things that you're good at and the values and the things that you contribute to the world. And you need to lean on those things and say, this is who I am. And every opportunity I get to enhance these things, I'm going to take it because this is what defines me. This is my skill. This is what I offer. And you need to lean into that. That's how you show your worth. It's an interesting, kind of like conundrum because you can only show your worth if other people accept you, right? You can only really show your worth to the world if it's accepted. But you have to look at yourself and say, like, this is how I'm worthwhile. These things make me feel good about myself. There's this weird contradictory concept of selfishness, right? Because you're being selfish by doing things for yourself in a world that requires like interaction between people.
One could argue that if you focus your efforts on somebody else, that also has selfish intention.
If helping someone else made you feel miserable all the time, you probably wouldn't do it. Because we do get a certain amount of dopamine from helping other people. Family takes care of each other. It's kind of what we do. It's what you're supposed to do. But like I don't particularly feel bad when a homeless person comes to me on the street and asks for money. Not because I don't necessarily think that, who knows, maybe they're in a position for help. I've been in positions for help and I've asked for help, but the difference is that I don't make a career out of it. I don't think that it's necessarily selfish in a bad way to not give everyone help that says they need help. I think that being selective with those things and using your judgment is good. And I think that you should only help people when you know for sure that it is of some kind of, not gain for you, but something that you can justify, right? If you wait for some sort of like prompt to do something for yourself, you'll never do it, right? So there's this thing of like only help people when you feel like it's justified, but in the meantime, you need to be doing things to justify helping yourself first. And if you can't find something that makes you feel like you're worthwhile, like I said, make a list, take all the things that you do and say like, these are the things I want to prioritize. It's kind of cheesy, but you can even just take that little project that you've always had in the back of your head that you've always wanted to do that you've never been able to do and just fucking do it. Just go for it. Who cares? Like, like if you want to go somewhere you've never been before, sell your shit. If you want to move somewhere you've never been, sell your shit. You don't need it. You'll get it back. There's a very good chance that all around you have everything that you need to do whatever you want. It's your attachments that keep you from doing it. So detach from the things that you're attached to. Find what makes you want in your life and go do it.
And also learn to reprioritize. Like people think they want something and they are programmed to be more selfish about the wrong things.
And there's a difference between being selfish in like a sense of like doing things for yourself to make your life better and being selfish in a way that hurts others. Prioritizing yourself in the decisions you make for your own personal life is not bad. But when you become greedy, when you start taking in excess and being selfish and gaining excess from it, that's when it becomes a problem.
And working on yourself means working on yourself within, not without.
That's just social derangement and hypergamy. It's social derangement and hypergamy. That's all it is. It's consumerism, right? Like, how do you make yourself look better in any other way that isn't consumerism? So it's just funneling you back into spending money in the economy. Working on yourself through physical things is just consumerism. There's no depth to it. No one's ever going to talk to you about developing a philosophy.
Thanks.
No one ever talks to you about that. People talk to you about looking better or work on your body, bro. Hit the gym, bro. Push some metal. Like, no. Like, there's no philosophy in that. The thing is, the problem is people don't want to hear reality anymore. 1984, 2 + 2 = 5 is like everything now. It's just become this inherent part of society for people just to believe things that aren't real anymore. I believe being able to look at a screen at things that aren't real all day. That's part of it. Creating cultures based on things that aren't real and letting people hide on the internet. You don't have to live in reality if you can just create a personality of whoever you want to be online.
People don't even want to talk about what a woman is these days. And yeah, there are a lot of things that people don't want to talk about these days. People don't want to talk about the fact that children are being targeted. People don't want to talk about what's really going on in Ukraine, bro. Like, people don't want to talk about COVID. People don't want to talk about the hard-hitting things. It makes them have to be self-reflective, and people would rather die than do that. Please don't make my view of the world crumble by giving me this truth. Please don't do that. I have been stuck in delusions for so long. Please don't destroy this reality that I've created for myself that does not actually reflect real reality. Stop with the facts and logic, it hurts. The anonymity of the internet fucked up the world.
I got all sorts of opinions. You know what we need to do? We need to make voting public. That's what we need to do. Put it on blockchain. Put everybody's vote on blockchain. Make it public. Take away anonymity about everything. Make people fucking put their money where their mouth is.
But then you get canceled.
So? Then you get people like actually showing their fucking loyalties, and you know who you can and can't trust. You know who's lying to you.
And I've dealt with a lot of shit trauma in the past year, trying to keep myself afloat and getting out of like the worst depression of my life, losing friends left and right, losing support. I don't have patience for people who refuse to look at reality anymore. which is why I don't stream so much, because streaming means that I have to cater to people. I mean, I don't. I have like, what, 8 viewers now? But back when I had more viewers and partner numbers, I had to cater to people who are just wrong. I don't make shit for money on this platform. I don't get views anymore, but in a way, I am free. As a female creator, there's a lot of expectations put on you. The internet is a terrible place, so I stay off of it these days. I mean, to be quite honest with you.
I'm tired. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. We're just out here trying to share our experiences and our opinions with the world before it descends into a chaos that is irreversible.
I don't give free advice. The cost is that you have to listen to me speak.
Is me just stating the obvious considered giving advice?
People need it. Axioms are not always axiomatic.
See you next time.